Most people don't realize how much time they're wasting during the day by the little things they're doing that actually distracts them from the big things they could be creating. Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer, and excited to have you here for another episode, another solo episode. So I want to talk about laziness, and it's easy to get complacent. It's easy to be lazy. And whether you're listening to this and you've just got caught in maybe a funk and it's getting to the end of the year, or right now while you're listening to this, it's probably the start of the year, but maybe you found yourself at the end of the year just going, hey, I'm just going to coast. It's the last month or last couple of weeks or whatever it might be. Or now it's the beginning of the year and you're like, man, I got this, maybe you got this kind of like, holiday hangover, right? Christmas and New Year's and just, you just got this hangover. You're not productive. You're not feeling productive. Or maybe it's that, you've had that before. Maybe you're kicking some butt right now and you've had it before, and maybe a reminder is good so you don't get back into the funk. Or look, you're just being lazy, purely. It's funny because I've been asked by people, oh, man, how do you get so much done? Or, I love to do that. I just don't have time. And my answer is always, well, look, you create the time. You have to create the time. We all have the same time of the day. I get it, but we don't. And some people have more time than others. And how is that? Because they create the time. That means they prioritize. That means they decide what's important in life. That means instead of coming home and relaxing a little bit, closing your eyes or watching TV or doom scrolling on your phone, you're not doing that. And here's the thing is most people think they waste, oh yeah, I just need a little bit of time to relax. And so they waste a little bit of time, and that little bit of time snowballs into a lot of time. Most people don't have a clue. They don't understand how much time they're actually spending wasting on doom scrolling, wasting on watching TV, wasting on whatever it might be. Look at my daughter, go to her and like, hey, you're spending so much time on that stupid phone. And she doesn't think she's spending that much time on the phone. And then you go to the stats on the phone and you look at it and you point it out to her like this. No, you're actually spending a ton of time on the phone. Most people, it's not just my daughter, most people don't realize how much time they're wasting during the day by the little things they're doing that actually distracts them from the big things they could be creating. Now, that's not to say you have to work and toil 100% of the day. But I do think the more productive you are during the day, the happier you're going to be. The more productive during the day you are, the more impact you're going to make. The more productive during the day you are, the more influence you're going to have on other people's lives, like your kids, like your spouse, like your friends, like your family. Look, we all want a lot of the same thing, right? We want to love and be loved. We want to create things. We want to make an impact, right? We want to raise great kids. A lot of us want very similar things. We want to be happy. So how do you create that? It's by not being lazy. It's by being productive. And so I was, reading the Bible. I do it most every morning. Sometimes I get lazy and I get distracted and I do something else. And then all of a sudden I run out of time because I didn't prioritize. But when I do, I love how often the Bible talks about, I looked it up, there's well over 100 Bible verses about laziness. And so, this Proverbs is a great book. I bet Proverbs says it 10 times itself, probably like triple that, actually. Proverbs 13:4, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. So look, A lot of people that are lazy want some excellent, want greatness. They want great things. They want happiness. They want all these things, but they get nothing. And they wonder why. And they're not getting the results they want. And they wonder why. But the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. So those who actually put in the time and the effort, and it's not just hard work, right? It's not just like, oh, I'm going to go out there and pound, pound nails and stuff. Well, no, that's not exactly what it's saying. Like, look, the diligent, like you have to continually um, be doing things that are productive and prioritizing. Work diligently, not just work, right? Proverbs 10:4, a slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Um, Second Thessalonians 3:10, for even when we were with you, we would give you this command: if anyone's not willing to work, let him not eat. Um, that's kind of harsh, right? Like we feed everybody, but the Bible kind of says, look, if you're not willing to work, then you're not willing to, you shouldn't, you don't need to eat if you don't want to work. Proverbs 18:9, whoever is slack in his work is a brother for him who destroys. The desire of a sluggard kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. That's Proverbs 21:25. This one I like here. So Proverbs 24:30 through 34. I passed by a field of a sluggard, meaning a lazy person, by the vineyard of a man lacking sense, and behold, it was all overgrown with thorns. The ground was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. Then I saw it and considered it. I looked and received instruction. A little sheep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. So a little sleep. I think I said sheep. A little sleep. So we're going to take a nap. We're going to fold our hands. We're going to rest. We're going to play some video games. We can do whatever. And poverty will come upon you like a robber and want like an armed man. So, yeah, we just hang out, watch video games, watch TV, whatever, little sleep, little slumber. Got to relax. Hey, I had a hard day, got to relax. Again, I'm not trying to say you never can take a moment off, but think about what you're doing during those moments. Um, Probably something I need to get back to that I used to do a lot. But with just the craziness of having kids, that's been a priority that's kind of gone to the wayside. But, I used to, if I had some free time, I used to go read a business book, read something productive that was going to actually allow me to learn. So that's a relaxed thing. A lot of people would watch TV instead of that, but I'm going to go and read a book. Now, it's not work. I didn't consider it work, but it was work, right? It was productivity. So think of things you can maybe do that gets you out of this kind of laziness, the sitting around. Um, the hand of the diligent will rule, while the slothful will be put to forced labor. That's Proverbs 12:24. I just told you Proverbs has a lot. That's they got definitely probably more than 30 that I said. Um, So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. That's James 4:17. Here's one, Proverbs 26:13 through 16. The sluggard says, there is a lion in the road. There's a lion in the streets. As the door turns on its hinges, so does the sluggard on his bed. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish. It wears him out to bring it back to his mouth. Sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than seven men who can answer sensibly. So, you become lazy. You think you've got it all figured out, but you really don't. You don't have it figured out. And I think that can happen too, is that we become successful. Maybe things happen well in our lives and then we become lazy. And because we think we've got it all figured out, then we become lazier and lazier. And it wears you out just to bring your hand back to your mouth. So, yeah. I could go on. Look, there's a lot. There's a lot of wisdom in the Bible, and there's a lot of wisdom in other great books about laziness and what it creates. And laziness, not only does it create, I think, a feeling of lack in your life, it also creates jealousy. It also creates just a like well, the feeling of lack, that empty hole, right? That feeling of like, oh man, nothing gets done. But it's a snowball effect. Like once you become lazy, it's hard to get out of laziness. And it's easy to continue to be lazy because there's so many distractions in life, and you feel like you're being productive by being lazy sometimes, and you feel, oh, I deserve this sometimes. Uh, and so I think it continues to build upon itself and create more and more destruction and less happiness, right? And then again, you continue to do the same thing over and over, which is the definition of insanity, right? But that creates more laziness, and that creates, I think that there's so many people that are depressed today because of the laziness that they have. Not saying that there's people that are depressed for other reasons, but I think that's a lot of it is they don't feel like they have a purpose. They don't feel like they have anything to do, and it's because they're not doing anything. They're not creating anything. Um, so go out there and be diligent. Go out there and take and spend your time wisely. Prioritize your time. Think about how you're spending your time. See, look, it's not lazy if you're not working, like physically working or working in your business, but it is lazy if you are get done working and you go play video games or doom scroll or watch TV or whatever. Instead of that, go spend time with your kids, or go spend time with your parents, or go spend time with your spouse, or go spend time with your friends, or go read a book, or do something else that's going to actually create some meaning in your life. And have some hobbies, right? Go work out. There's so many things that you can do that's going to continue to give you productivity. um, it's also going to provide relaxation for you, but it's not going to create pure laziness. So, all right. I hope that makes sense. I got a lot more Bible verses I could read, and there's a lot of wisdom in a lot of other books. I think another book, Think and Grow Rich, has a lot of they talk. There's a lot of talk about laziness in that book. Um, here's the last one, 1 Corinthians 9, 24 through 27. Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one receives the prize? So run that you may obtain it. Every athlete exercises self-control in all things. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we are imperishable. So I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air, but I discipline my body to keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified. All right. I'm going to end on that because I myself should be disqualified because plenty of times I box beating the air. Plenty of times, I run that and have no goal, right? Run aimlessly. But I try to continue to improve and to be somebody that is not lazy and somebody who's actually productive at all aspects and all times during the day. Again, I try. I don't achieve it necessarily, but I continue to try and to become a little bit better every single day. And that should be the goal. We can come one step closer to perfection every single day. One little bit better. We want to get a little better every single day. All right, that's all I got for today. You have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay diligent and take care. Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to
more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.